upon us.
Get those endorphins in your
Right.
system.
That's right. Well, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. This is Danielle Alexander, Realtor with Coldwell Banker Realty. To buy, to sell, call Danielle. And I'm here with my awesome, wonderful, amazing host or co-host.
Derek Alexander, also realtor with Coldwell Banker Realty.
Very good. And we are the Mom and Son Get Deals Done real estate team.
That's it.
Everything you need to know about real estate.
That's it. Brought to you by Gold Chip Radio Station, 1580thepraise.com.
Very good. A Gold Chip communication station. So it's a blessing to be here today. I'm able to work alongside of my son and share real estate news you can use on a weekly basis. And you're able to catch our rebroadcast on all of our social media sites and also on the station as you tune in every Monday at 1:30.
Yes.
So we're bringing you the latest news.
And if you are YouTubers, we do have our personal YouTube channel. So Mom and Son Get Deals Done. That's where we rebroadcast all of our shows that we do here in studio. So if you didn't get to catch us live, please go to our YouTube channel, Mom and Son Get Deals Done. Like and subscribe and share, and you can also tune in and view those videos.
Very good.
So not only do we do our radio broadcast shows there, but we also do like walkthroughs of new construction, give client testimonials, and also we'll have some spiritual enlightenment videos to you as well.
That is
So
wonderful.
one-stop shop hub there.
We have you covered on all social media sites, live and living color, on radio, social media sites.
Ain't that something? Just social media that you can just reach the masses
It's
just
amazing.
through the power of internet.
That's right. So technology continues to evolve. So we're able to reach the masses, and this is a blessing to have the 24-hour gospel talk radio station with 1580 The Praise. So that's a blessing, and we have all ends of the spectrum covered.
Yes.
So real estate news you can use.
Yes.
All right.
That's
That leads us into our
Yeah, so as always, when we start off our show, we like to give you just a quick synopsis of what's going on in today's market. If you've been tuning in with us every week, we've been, kind of hitting it in the head that, hey, we're short on inventory right now. So the total active listings within the Central Ohio area is 1,290 homes. So that's 1,290 homes active within the region of Central Ohio, the metropolitan areas. So that number is significantly low. And even when we first started this year, I think we were at 1,500. So
That's right.
we're down 300 already.
It keeps going down. So inventory, as soon as the house hits the market, it's in contract. I mean, it's 20 buyers, sometimes 30 buyers for every home that hits the market. And prime example, we'll talk about that later in our broadcast, but I took a new listing priced at 210. We had over 50 showing requests.
That's a lot.
50 showing requests.
And it just went on the market, what, Friday?
Yes, as a coming soon, it hit the market, showing started Friday, and we went through the weekend, and just incredible the number of clients that came through, and that just shows the demand is there. So as Derek continues to state, we need inventory, we need listings.
Yes.
So our sellers, if you're listening, you have a house to sell, find out what your house is worth. If you bought 3 years ago, 5 years ago, even 2 years ago, your house is worth more money.
Right.
There's equity there.
The equity is there.
Yes, we'll have a series later on next week's or week after next topic to talk about how to leverage your equity in your existing home. So as a seller, if you're concerned, where do I move? What do I do? Yes, I have equity. Yes, I want to sell, but where am I going? We can help you walk through those stages.
Yes.
Again, we need inventory. So
That's
sellers,
right.
call us. Find out what your house is worth. It's a free estimate.
Yes. And buyers, don't get too discouraged too when you hear that. When you hear that number that is so low and you're like, wow, well, I want to buy a home, but there's nothing to choose from. Where there's, like we said in the previous shows, there's other options to explore. So not only, are we going to be shopping in one basket, which is the existing home market, but there's new construction as well. And I even came in contact with people looking to purchase mobile homes. So they'll purchase their own land, and it's called a manufactured home. So you could buy a mobile home, plotted on your own land, and you can have it that way. So there's other options instead of the existing home market that we can explore.
Very good. There's financing available for manufactured homes, so don't shy away from that term. We are here to help. And Derek has closed a couple of manufactured homes with a client looking for a spacious living space and bedrooms. I know she wanted a huge walk-in closet with a huge owner's suite and owner's bath, and couldn't find it with an existing house. So Derek was able to find her.
That's it. So don't sleep on it. You know what us millennials say, don't sleep on the mobile home. I know it may have a bit of a stigma, you don't want to live in a mobile home, but they're actually very spacious inside. And most of them, they have 3-4 bedrooms and 2 full bathrooms, nice living room arrangements. So it's very suitable. And with the option to put it out on your own piece of land, I mean, it's a perfect option to do instead of you doing these bidding wars and losing out on the existing home market. So just give us a call. We're going to exhaust all options and make sure we get you those keys.
Yes, and you have all options covered. I'm so proud of you. So good job. So good point. And we'll talk about renting versus buying, which is best for you. And as Derek mentioned, don't get discouraged. We'll find the right house. So we'll talk about that. But you have some other good market activity to discuss.
Yeah, so I know a lot of particularly some of my younger demographics, they're worried about the interest rate. So are they going to shoot up sky high? And I mean, they did take a bit of an increase, but nothing too steep to whereas these homes are no longer affordable. So they're teetering. It varies between lender and lender, but it varies between 2.7% and 3.2 interest rates. And again, it varies between your lender that you choose, and also if you're doing a 30-year fix or 15-year fix, and just the amount of money that you're putting down. So right now it varies between 2.7 and 3.2% interest rate.
Which is still traditionally low interest rate.
Right.
When I first started selling homes 25 years ago, rates were like 7.5%. And we thought that was great. It was like 7.75, and then they went down to 6.75 and 5. So, looking at the interest rates right now, it's
still low.
Yeah, so don't let the rates, as Derek mentioned, discourage you, because we'll have to figure out, what does that mean in affordability factor? Like your comfort level with payment. And kind of back into it to see what loan program makes the most sense, how much money down, credit scores, and we'll see what rate is best suitable for your needs.
Absolutely. So talk a little bit about today. So what are we leaving our listeners with today and moving forward this week?
The cost of renting versus buying, what's best for you. And I mean, as you mentioned, some of your millennials, because I'm coming as an older, mature audience, and you speak to your clients as a millennial client. And one of the things, I mean, the affordability factor, millennials right now, they're over 6 figures in income, but they're renting. And the housing market for minorities in general, and just first-time home buyers in general, the numbers are so much lower now than what they were back during the housing market.
Right.
We're looking back, with the market with buyers. Sorry, I have so many thoughts going through my mind. But when we're looking at affordability factor, I have clients who are thinking, hey, I'll pay $1,000 a month in rent, but when I buy my house, I want my mortgage payment to come around $850 to $900 a month. So they get discouraged, and I'm part of a membership of a group called NARA, National Association of Real Estate Brokers, one of the oldest minority trade organizations out since 1945, back when African Americans could not become licensed realtors. We have this initiative where we're thinking, buy the house, then get the car. We're educating our consumers the importance of home ownership, because if you look at how much money you're spending in rent, you had a really good postcard that went out that talked about first year, second year, 3 years, 10 years of renting. So the house that I put on the market was a rental, and the tenant who lived there stayed there for 15 years.
Wow, 15 years.
So the fact that they're there for 15 years and what they paid in rent, landlord was a blessing. They did not raise the rent, which is awesome.
Right.
She was able to stay there with a low capped interest, or I won't say interest rate, but low cap payment for 15 years. If she would have bought the house, she would have had over $162,000 in equity of that home. So it would have been paid for, almost paid for, in 15 years.
Yeah. Especially if she would have did a 15-year fix.
Exactly.
It'll be hers now.
Outright. Right.
Mhm.
So you will own it outright, $162,000. And Derek, we talked about equity. So that translates to the home is worth more money.
Right.
We know in 15 years the house has gone up in value, traditionally 3% every year.
Right.
So she could have doubled the price of the house, could have sold it for $230,000.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
the cost of renting is substantial because you're not building equity.
Mhm.
You're making your landlord rich.
Mhm.
And we'll go through the example of cost of living when you look at how much do you make,
Mhm.
less your monthly debt, how much is left over to
Right.
afford your mortgage payment, not your rent, but your
Mhm.
mortgage payment.
Yes.
Because you
yes.
have to start somewhere. And as a first-time homeowner, it's not your forever home. It could be your forever home, but look at it as, what can I get into? What can I afford now?
Mhm.
What fits my needs and my wants?
Yes.
In terms of a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, garage, basement, no basement, or maybe a condo.
Mhm.
Or a mobile home, as you talked
Right.
about, manufactured home. We have to figure out what makes the most sense financially because you're wasting money with the temporary roof over your head.
Mhm.
And you can take the same money and make it a permanent
Right,
roof over
right.
your head.
Mhm.
Whether it's a 3-year, 5-year, 7-year game plan with your first home purchase, but let it be your springboard to build equity to get into your next home.
Yes, yes. I think you said the key word there is temporary.
Yes.
So, when we're talking about, renting, there's no knock on, renting because, we're landlords. So if we're a landlord, we're going to need tenants.
Exactly.
So it's okay if you're renting, but let that be a temporary solution of where you're trying to go long term. Because this example that you said, she was in there 15 years.
Right.
I mean, you should have bought something by that time in 15 years instead of paying over $162,000 to your landlord.
Right.
So let the renting aspect be something temporary so that you can establish, good rental history.
Exactly.
Because when you apply for a credit loan, they're going to look at your rental history.
That's true.
So that's good as a temporary solution, just to establish good rental history, and then use that to catapult you into the home ownership.
Exactly. Yeah, because there's huge benefits to buying. So we're going to talk about a couple of them.
Yes.
So the advantages of buying a home is the tax write-off.
Yes.
So they've made some tax laws. We're not tax accountants.
Mm-hmm.
I would say as a first-time homeowner, once you close, consult with a tax advisor and let them do your taxes that first year so you can understand how much you can claim as a homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can deduct the mortgage interest and when you pay in real estate taxes for your
Yes.
state and local tax return.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a substantial savings of money coming back in your pocket. And back in my new build days, we would say, hey, based on a mortgage payment of $1,250 a month, if you're paying $1,000 in rent, you're making the same payment.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you can make that assimilation is you're losing out your tax savings benefit, meaning your interest in real estate taxes. That's a tax shelter.
Mm-hmm.
If we cap it at a $10,000 tax deduction on your income, maybe that's an extra $100 a month or $120 a month in your take-home pay. So if you're paying $1,000 in rent, the $120 you're missing in take-home pay, you're paying $1,120 where you
Pretty
live.
much the same.
And your mortgage payment may be $1,250. So I know that math may have threw some people off, but just as a quick example, owning a home builds you a tax shelter.
Yes,
There's
yes.
tax savings benefits to home ownership. And our job is to go through those examples and put you in touch with the right people.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Put you in the right situation. Yes.
Exactly. So you can see how much of a tax savings you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's substantial. So tax write-off benefit.
Yes, that's
right off the
number.
top.
Yeah, that's number one. And number two, some of the advantages when you're buying a home is that you can upgrade it as you see fit.
Exactly.
So once you get into your home and you want to renovate the bathroom to your liking, the kitchen, you can do that and you don't need to ask for permission. Versus if you're renting, you can't touch anything in there
Right.
unless you ask for the landlord's permission because it's not yours. It's not your home. It's the landlord's. So you don't have that freedom to go into the house and you can decorate it and not decorate it, but upgrade it to how you see fit. Versus if you're leasing it, so you got some, you're on a leash.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
on a leash pretty much when you're renting, so it doesn't really give you that freedom.
That's true, and if you were to upgrade the house and this landlord probably love for you to modify. You
Oh,
want
yeah.
brand new floors and brand new kitchen.
At no cost to them.
They're gonna say, yes, please, update the kitchen at your expense.
Right, and then they'll turn around and do what?
Raise your rent.
And raise the rent.
So if you ask your landlord to do it, guess what? They're gonna charge you more money. There's no free ride. And yes, it feels like, okay, I don't want the responsibility of homeownership. So we'll switch that up and say, okay, the disadvantage of owning a house is, yeah, you have a responsibility as a homeowner. But with that responsibility comes pride of home ownership, as Derek mentioned.
Right.
You can make modifications, you can add on, make additions, and change your house the way you want to live.
Right.
Build equity, and your house is worth something versus staying in your landlord's property, waiting to make modifications to their investment and not receive anything back off of it.
There's nothing in return.
Yeah, you get nothing in return except for a temporary roof over your house.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, rent will go up every year.
Every year, yeah. And I came across a lot of stories with buyers I'm working with now where they've been long-term, good, solid tenants. But because of the market, how it is now, these landlords are ready to cash out, and they're saying, hey, we're going to raise your rent, and if you don't like it, oh well, find something else. And then they're going to sell the roof right underneath you. So you're kind of in an unpredictable situation. Like, yeah, you're tied to the lease, but also too, the landlord can choose to sell it and move to another owner, and then you may not like this owner. So you're at the expense of someone else.
Yeah, they're gonna dictate what to do, when you can do it, how much to pay. Your 12-month lease is up. If like Derek just said, if they want to sell it, then you're dealing with a new property owner. So the disadvantage of renting is you have no control over that payment because it's going to go up. I mean, the rare example I gave you with my previous experience here with this client had their rent locked for 15 years. That's very rare. I mean, you're not going to see that happen very often. So the other thing we talked about is, the pride of home ownership, having this house and creating memories, long-lasting memories in this house that is yours.
Absolutely.
Putting your stamp on that house and saying, this is my home, this is your sanctuary, this is what you're coming home to every day, this is what you're working hard for every day, versus the disadvantage of renting, coming home to tenants who are going to constantly move out. You have that transient incentive. So every 6 months, if it's a 6-month lease, or every 12 months, you have a new neighbor. And you can't pick that neighbor. They're right beside you, whether they're side by side or above or below. You are locked into that box with a neighbor that you may not like. Music, the guests, and parking, and company, and it's it can be overwhelming.
It go on and on. But what you said, when you purchase a home and you make it your own, you leave those last longing memories. Like, I could remember when I was young, we lived under our grandparents' roof, and there were so many memories that happened, 25 years ago that I still hold on to today. And then I try to implement those things into my home for my son. So there's a lot of memories and things that happen throughout the years and decades and generations throughout that property that'll carry over to your next generation. So those memories are definitely everlasting and something you should cherish and hold dear. You can't really do that if you're leasing and renting, because again, it's turnover.
Yeah, high turnover. So you can create memories, but why not create memories in your very own home?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we talked about tax savings, advantages, and being able to gain the equity position, with owning a home. What's some other examples of owning a home and versus renting?
So some other examples is that, when you own a property, you take on the responsibility of the repairs and the maintenance, general maintenance. So, yes, when you own a property, it may seem costly, to repair a furnace or to repair a leak. And if you're renting, you're at the expense and the mercy of your landlord. And sometimes, I hear horrific stories that the landlord, they don't fix it timely.
Exactly.
So they can go on for months in and months out and have a leak in their house, in their property that they're renting. So when you own a property, it may seem like you have to shell out thousands of dollars, but we put in protection, what we call a home warranty. So that's something that we could put in place for you. So if something does happen to the AC or to the furnace, or if you have a leak, then you have your home warranty that will come in. You pay a service fee, like a deductible, $50, $75, and instead of you paying $3,000 to fix the AC, You just pay a deductible, and they'll come in and take care of it for you for that fee.
That's a very good point. And not only do you have that benefit, excuse me, of having that peace of mind, it's a service call.
Yes.
So I know a lot of people say, well, yeah, I want to rent because I don't want to be responsible for a house. And I don't want that 30-year commitment. I actually had a first-time home buyer say that. Young gentleman, he was just graduating college, and he was thinking the house or the car. He actually was ready to buy. He missed our appointment. I called him twice. He finally called me back the third time and said, look outside, he bought a car versus the house.
Oh, no.
So he said, I don't want that 30-year commitment. And I just looked at him and shook my head.
And now you have that commitment to a car, which as soon as you drive off the lot, it depreciates in value. As soon as you put a mile on there.
I could not believe it. So we got a good laugh off of that. But 3 years later, he came back and bought a house.
Okay.
So I stayed on him. We followed up, email, communication, and he did come back to buy a home. But it was just that initial shock where it was right there. And he literally said it was a 30-year commitment that scared him.
Wow. So talk a little bit about that. So if somebody does, because I'm sure there's listeners out there who did what he did and said, hey, I need some new wheels, and they bought a car before a house. So how would that impact them going forward if they want to buy a house now?
Good question. So consulting with your mortgage lender, we have to figure out monthly income less monthly debt. So if you take on new debt, your lender will subtract that monthly payment, and it will give us an end result for how much mortgage you qualify for. So if you just incurred an extra $350 a month or $500 a month for that new car payment, your lender has to account for that. And what money is left over, there's debt to income ratios that they look at. So we want to make sure we try to minimize your monthly debt so you qualify for more home. But again, if it's a necessity, your car is broke down, you need a new car because you have to get back and forth to work to have the paycheck to afford your house.
Right.
It's a possibility. That option is there. We just have to figure out what will that put you into, or what does that look like in terms of affordability for your home. You will qualify. Maybe not right now, but it's a matter of when. And our job is to get you prepared to take those steps as to when the right time will work for you.
Right.
So it can happen, you can do it, you can have monthly debt. It's a matter of what monthly debt do you have. Your income.
It's good debt.
It's good debt. You have to leverage your debt because you need a good credit score. You need trade lines to be able to qualify for your home. So it's not the end all, save all, or be all. If you buy a car and you still want to buy a home, it's okay. Our job is to talk to the right lender to see what do you qualify for. And if it's maybe 3 months out or 6 months out, or maybe we're 12 months out, our job is to come up with the game plan. Our GPS system is a navigate to get you where you need to go.
Right.
And that's where it's okay to rent, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. But that end result is figuring out.
That's the key.
When.
That's the key. You
Not
don't
now.
want to just continue doing it and doing it.
Right.
You gotta have an end game. What's the end game?
Exactly. It's not a no, but it's a no, but here's when. Or not right now. It's not a hard no. It's a not right now, but here's when.
Yes.
And it's a game plan. So as Derek mentioned, renting should be your springboard to get you into your home. Because also renting, talk about savings. So the trade-off, owning, renting. Again, renting is temporary to get you into your home. So renting could save money to get your down payment to buy your home. So talk about some of those advantages there.
Yeah, so if you're if you are renting right now, and let's say your rent right now, say $800, but you're right now the $800 rent is only getting you a 2-bedroom garden apartment with only 1 bathroom. But the property that you want to move forward into next, you want 3 bedrooms, and you want 2 full bathrooms because you have your children to think about. So so with you paying that $800 in rent, and with you upgrading to that newer house, it's going to have an increase in the mortgage. So but with you paying that $800, it's going to help you save a little bit of that extra money. Let's say the new home is going to be worth $1,200. So with you paying $800, that's enough for you to put the extra $400 away to save. So you continue to do that for the 2 years or the 3 years, and by the time that third year comes, you'll have your 3% down payment ready to go.
That's huge. That's a good savings or a good program to talk about to be able to save to get ready for your home. Is to force yourself to make that mortgage payment. So as Derek said, your rent is $800. Your new mortgage payment might leap up to $1,200, or maybe you're blessed where you can afford more. Again, we're going to meet you at your level.
Meet you at your needs.
Meet you at your needs. And our job is to figure out how to get you to your needs. And I always tell my clients, hey, if you're renting, here's your new mortgage payment. Make your mortgage payment or make your rent payment, and the extra money is in savings. So now when you move into your house, it's not sticker shock.
That's right.
You will not have that payment shock, because guess what? Your 3 months, your 6 months, your 12-month lease, once it expires, you've been disciplined to make that payment.
That's
so
key.
as you go from renting to owning, you won't have sticker shock. You're going to be prepared because you've already disciplined yourself to do that. And as Derek said, you're gonna have money saved.
That's it.
So the extra $4 a month, you're not spending it for your rent. You're putting it in savings, and don't touch it.
Right.
Let that money build, so when you move into your home, your lender may qualify you for 3% down or 100% financing, meaning no money down, but you have that cushion left over.
Right.
What a blessing to be able to move into your house with a cushion.
Now you can furnish your home.
Yes, furnish the house and have money left over and not miss a beat. So we have to really, have this home buyer consultation to figure out where are you going? What are you looking to do? What are your goals? What's your end results? And our job is to help you get there.
Absolutely.
Because we should strive for home ownership, because owning a home is the best way, the fastest way, the easiest way to create wealth. And as Derek mentioned, our family memories is, you're going to create memories in this new place to call home, but you're also building a nest egg. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in the roof over your head, because you're forced to make that payment. So you're pretty much forced to save, because your house is like your savings. It's your piggy bank.
That's it.
If it, 3% appreciation is a very modest number. Homes appreciate a lot faster than that. But think of it as a 3% savings every year that you own your home. Your home is going to 3% in value.
Right.
So you're forcing yourself to save there. And then you're leveraging your debt, because Derek mentioned your little ones, your kids. 5 years later, 10 years later, your youngest is now your oldest, and your oldest is off to go to college.
Right.
And college tuition will hit you hard.
Yes, it will.
I know. College tuition hits, but you were blessed to have a football scholarship. Thank God for that. Amen. But, the tuition is expensive.
Yeah.
And you can have, the accounts to save for the children and money set aside, but when you look at the equity that you have in your home, you can streamline, strategize, leverage the equity for your next purchase. Home modifications, new car, or college tuition.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So just in, like the last show, we want to give you all of this financial game that we're giving you, but we also want to leave you with a little bit of spiritual enlightenment and encouragement, so you can lead you into this week strong. So one quote of the week, it came through my email today, and the quote is, "Do not wait until the conditions are perfect to begin. Beginning makes the conditions perfect." Let me say that for all the people in the back.
Yes.
Do not wait until the conditions are perfect to begin. Beginning makes those conditions perfect. And that was by the author Alan Cohen. So what that means is that sometimes, we have a goal in mind or something that we want to achieve, and, our spirit hits us and it's like, hey, I want to do this. I want to go after this. But then we stay in there like we're double dutching, and we're just waiting and we're waiting on something. But it's like, if God puts something in your spirit to do something, He's waiting on you to take that initial investment, which is that first step forward.
Yeah.
Take that step forward, and He's going to be there with you every step of the way. He wants to see if you're willing to make that courage, that bravery step. And then once He sees that, that's an action, then He'll be able to go ahead and be with you. So in Isaiah 41, verse 10, "Don't fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you with my righteous right hand." So through any adversity that you're going through, any trials, or you're suffering through any anxiety or a new opportunity that's putting you outside of your comfort zone, just have that fully persuaded faith in the Lord, and that He's going to get you through the storm and anything, any circumstance or situation that comes your way. So we just want to leave you with that spiritual encouragement. So whatever it is you're going through this week, lean heavily on the Lord our Father, and He's going to push you through.
Amen. Okay, hallelujah. Hey, that was a good word. Thank you for sharing that.
So again, our YouTube channel, Mom and Son Get Deals Done. We're on Facebook, Central Ohio Realtors, Alexander Team. And you can reach me at 614-597-6850.
And myself, Danielle Alexander. You can contact me at 614-374-4494. Remember, to buy, to sell, call Danielle.